and welcome to Cretaceous Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Mattel Jurassic World Dino Rivals Wave 1 Attack Packs. Now I'm really excited about these. I walked into a local Walmart this morning and I was bewildered to find all 4 of them on the pegs. And not just these 4, this is the entire wave, but they also had like 6 of each one, so they had quite a few. They also had the Dino Rivals Humans for Wave 1, which of course are all repackages from earlier this year. I will also say that this new packaging really stands out on the shelf. You can see that it's vibrant. You got the lava looking theme that's going on here with the red and the oranges, the yellows. I do like the overall look of the packaging. Now, one thing that I have been pretty vocal about on social media is the fact that you have Owen on here, but not Claire. I mean, Claire has been said by Colin Trevorrow, who is directing some of these films and producing, that Claire is the protagonist of the new Jurassic World series. So it's just flat out wrong that Owen is here and not Claire. I'm not saying that Claire should be here instead of Owen. I'm saying that they should both be on here. And she's obviously nowhere to be found. And I hate getting into social commentary here on the channel, but again, that's just flat out wrong. We'll just leave it at that. But the rest of the packaging, again, vibrant. You got your Dino Rivals logo right there, and T-Rex versus Triceratops. They are the Dino Rivals, so I'm not really sure why you needed any humans to be there at all. It says you got a collector card, and that is true. Each of these figures does feature a collector card. Here at the back, you get a look at the rest of the wave for this Wave 1 Attack Packs. There's the UPC, and there is nothing really on bottom. I have seen a few people say online that these look kind of cheap, the way that they redid the packaging, particularly the plastic bubbles. Honestly, I think they're trying to be a little bit more environmentally friendly. There's not as much plastic here. I mean, it's kind of conforming more to the card back, and I'm okay with that. It also saves them a little bit of money, so you know, I'm all for that. If they can take the money from this packaging and invest it into better paint apps on the figures, then I'm good with that. I have no complaints. There's the back of this one. Here is your UPC. Here is the Dracorex. And again, you do see how the packaging conforms to the figure's body. I don't think it looks that bad. You also have some slashes right there in the plastic, which actually looks pretty neat. And then here at the back, same thing. And the UPC. And finally, Velociraptor Delta. Very interesting. We'll look at her a little bit more closely in the review. But yeah, same thing with the packaging. You can see that you get your card in there and so forth. And again, the back is the same. And then there is the UPC for that one. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and spend some time, get these figures out of their packaging. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the new Wave 1 Dino Rivals Attack Packs. All right, you guys, so here are the figures out of the packaging. And let's go ahead and start with the Rhamphorhynchus. See ya. See ya too. See ya. So the Rhamphorhynchus is a new flying reptile, a new flying creature for the Jurassic line, as I get this little piece of tape off of there. And yeah, it's an interesting one. It feels really small to me. I mean, I will say that, at $6.97, which is what these cost if you get them at Walmart, I guess it's not terrible. It just kind of feels kind of small. Yeah, it is really small. But yeah, let's take a look at that sculpted detail, because this actually does look quite nice. Look at that red eye. Very clean paint. The teeth are looking pretty nice. It does look wacky, but you know what? Rhamphorhynchus was a very strange looking creature, and any toys I've seen of the Rhamphorhynchus kind of look wacky. But yeah, this looks pretty nice. Pretty nice texturing going on for the wings. And you can see that he does have a little bit of, or she has a little bit of the wings here at the back by where the tail is. The arms and the body look pretty nice, very reptilian, a little bit of feathering going on at the very end of the tail. It's too bad they didn't paint that. That would have looked nice if they would have. Here's the bottom, and you do have that speckled sort of look on the wings that many of the Jurassic World dinos have had from Mattel. And overall, it is looking pretty nice. Let's talk articulation. So interestingly, you have a ball joint here at the neck. I love that. So you can go up and down. You can turn it side to side. And then, of course, a hinged jaw. So you can open that. And the inside of the mouth is painted a little bit pink for the bottom anyway. And here at the back, there is a little point where it's connected right there, it looks like, but that's actually non-movable. You do have ball joints at the wings, so you can orient those as you see fit. I will say that these backs of the wings kind of do get in the way, as you can see, but if you move them back, you can kind of flap them upward, and that seems to work a little bit better. If you're doing the Jurassic Facts app, there is your scan code. Overall, not too shabby. It just feels a little bit small to me. Here is the card you get for Rhamphorhynchus, and as I understand it, these should interact somehow with the Jurassic Facts app. The artwork itself is very cartoonish, but it does look like the toy, which is cool. And that is basically the back, just Dino Rivals, and here are the various levels. I couldn't tell you what those mean. Maybe speed, ferocity? I don't know. I haven't really looked at the app lately, but it is cool that there's a little bonus in the pack as well. Here is our Protoceratops. I do think it's interesting how they brought this one back so soon because we just had a Protoceratops in wave 3 of attack packs, so basically like the last wave. So it's back again, and I don't necessarily mind it because I do like the coloring quite a bit. It's the exact same sculpt that we had before. Nothing different in terms of the sculpt. So if you're just trying to buy one of each sculpt, then there's nothing new here. It's the exact same sculpt. What is different, however, is the coloration. As you can see, this time we have like this very nice, it's almost like a lavender blue sort of color. It's like a medium blue. It's a really pretty color actually, and it goes very nicely with those orange patterns that it has on the back, and then with the darker bluish purple patterns that you have on the body as well, and on the head. You can see she's got her beak, she's got yellow eyes, and not a whole lot underneath. I'll go ahead and give you your Jurassic Facts app right there if you're doing that. As far as articulation goes, again, same as before. So you have a very nice joint up here on the head, and you can rotate it as well up and down. You can move each of the limbs, swivel them forward and back. You can rotate the tail. Basically, it's the same figure as before, just with different paint. And I'll go ahead and bring in the previous version that we got in wave 3 so you can compare them. They both look really nice. I actually love this kind of blue color. I don't really like traditional like blue, red, green, yellow, orange, such. I like more unique shades of those colors, and I think these look really nice. And I especially like the coloration on both of these. But if I had to pick one, oh gosh, I think I kind of like the Dino Rivals one just a little bit better. You can definitely see the eyes stand out a lot more than they do on the previous version here. Here's the card for Protoceratops. Very nice artwork there. I really like the green background. Really pops. And, it looked really cool. A little cartoonish, but again, it does look quite nice. All right, and next we have the Dracorex. And the Dracorex is a 100% new sculpt, just like the Rhamphorhynchus. And as you can see, it looks really good. It looks really, really good. At the Walmart I went to, they actually had more of this one than they had any of the other ones for whatever reason. So I don't know if maybe there's more in a case of this than some of the others. I'll have to go back and look that up. But it's looking really nice. I mean, the sculpt work on this figure is really good for an attack pack at this price point. I gotta say, they did some really nice things with the sculpt. Look at all those bumps that it has along the entirety of the body, going all the way down the tail. Really nice. The legs look good. You can see some light texturing going on the bottom part of the animal. There's your Jurassic Facts app right there. And as far as the coloring, I think it looks really nice. It's kind of like I don't know, almost like a sunset sort of burnt orange. And you can see that the leg orange is a little bit lighter than the orange on the back. Interestingly, it's not too noticeable. And then you have, of course, the more beige cream sort of color that goes underneath the body, and then the darker brown stripes along the top. And that looks nice. It's a very nice color scheme for sure. And then you have the darker brownish color that goes around the eyes. The eyes themselves are very cleanly painted, and they stand out quite a bit. And the horns are also painted the same sort of beige cream color that you have on the bottom of the body. I will say that when you find this in the stores, be sure to check the horns, because I did see a couple where they weren't painted very well on the horns. In fact, I did see one where 2 of the horns weren't painted at all, so definitely watch out for that. All right, so for articulation, you have a bend here at the neck, so you can move it down quite a bit and then back up. And you also have a ball joint here at the top of the head. So you can make it look up, you can make it look down, you can make it go side to side. And the combination of that with the neck joint is really, really nice. I'm really happy about that. Here at both of the front limbs, you can swivel them, and the back limbs, you can swivel those as well. The tail also rotates if you wanted to do that. Overall, this is one of the standouts, I think. Here's your card for the Dracorex, and again, very nice artwork. I like the style that they went with because it's got that very animated look to it, and it's just quite fun. And then finally, we have Velociraptor Delta. It's very interesting how they decided that this was going to be Delta because it doesn't look really anything like Delta. I mean, if we look back at the very early marketing for the first Jurassic World, as well as what Hasbro did for the Jurassic World toys, they also painted Delta in this more brown sort of color. But really, Delta is more like green and gray, so it doesn't really make sense why this particular dinosaur is Delta. I mean, I really don't know. But in any case, it is a 100% repaint of the previously released Attack Pack Raptor that we have seen multiple times. So you're not really getting anything new here other than the paint scheme being new. I will say one thing that's a little bit extra disappointing about this figure. Look, the eye's painted okay on this side, but when you get to this side, ouch. It's not even, like half of it's not even painted onto the actual eyeball. And unfortunately, the way that these new attack packs are packed, like you can't even see that when you buy them. So it's basically just the luck of the draw. You get what you get, I guess. So that is kind of a bummer. I might actually almost want to replace that because, yikes. That aside, let's say this isn't Delta. Let's say it's just a Velociraptor. It doesn't look too bad. I think that the coloring isn't really that exciting, honestly. It's kind of like this dark mustard sort of color, which I'm not particularly a huge fan of. And then you have the darker gray. It just looks a little bit blah to me. I mean, the pattern itself looks nice. Like, I like the pattern. I just kind of wish that the colors were other than what they are because it just looks a little bit drab. I would have liked something a little bit either closer to Delta or just, completely different because this is just kind of boring. But, it is new, and if you're collecting all these Attack Pack Raptors, you're going to need to get it. It is the same sculpt once again, so same thing. You can open and close the jaw right there. It doesn't seem like it closes 100% of the way. You can still, it looks like she's growling almost. You can swivel both of the forelimbs as well as the hind limbs. So I will also note that this figure, she stands, but the feet are a little bit, you can see they're a little bit warped. So she doesn't stand perfectly. She doesn't close her mouth all the way for some reason. And her eye is, maybe I just got a bad Velociraptor Delta. In any case, it is what it is, and I mean, I think it's probably the least interesting figure in this series. I'm going to bring in the Attack Pack Velociraptor Blue so you can see how these look next to each other. Again, same sculpt, and even though I have some pretty big issues with the coloring for Delta, it is nice that they are building out that Raptor squad from Jurassic World, and I hope that they do also make Charlie and Echo because the set would be incomplete without them. And here is Delta's card. For you to take a look at. She's got high levels of all of these things, which makes sense. I mean, she is Delta after all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. These are the Mattel Jurassic World Dino Rivals Attack Packs Wave 1 featuring Rhamphorhynchus, Protoceratops, Dracorex, and Velociraptor Delta. Overall, you guys, this is a pretty fun wave. I do gotta say that the Dracorex back here is the absolute standout of this wave. It's an excellent figure. It's very nicely sculpted and has really pretty looking paint apps. I really like what Mattel did there with that one. Rhamphorhynchus, of course, is the other new sculpt in this wave. And I do feel like it's a little bit small. It feels a little bit lightweight. Doesn't really feel like you're getting your bang for your buck, but nonetheless, since it is a new figure in this wave, I am happy to have it. I also quite like the Protoceratops Repaint, even though I kind of feel like maybe it was a little bit early to get another Protoceratops. I mean, that wouldn't really make sense because they repainted so many other dinosaurs in this line. So I'm okay with it, and they did a really bang-up job of repainting that, making it look completely different from the original. The most problematic one in this wave is Velociraptor Delta. First of all, because it doesn't look like Velociraptor Delta. I think if they just called it Velociraptor, probably would have made a little bit more sense to me. And maybe I'd even like it a little bit better. But when you say that this is specifically a character from Jurassic World, Delta, and you paint it to not look like Delta, well then I kind of have a problem. There's also the fact that the QC on my particular sample isn't the best. So I find that problematic as well. But overall, it's a nice wave. It's a nice introductory wave for Dino Rivals, and it is nice that everything is painted fresh and new. And you do get the two new sculpts because it's a lot better than just having repacks of previously released figures. I'm really glad that they went this route instead. So I think that they could have done worse with this wave. But I mean, if you're gonna get one figure from this wave, and maybe you already have this Velociraptor and that Protoceratops, Dracorex, that's absolutely the star of this wave for me. Love that figure. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Will you be picking up these figures? Which do you think is your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Cretaceous Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.